It was supposed to be just another political panel, sharpsuits, polite smiles, and the usual verbal sparring that viewers had come to expect from late-night television. But nobody watching that night, not in the studio audience or the millions glued to their screens at home, expected the fireworks that were about to explode. The moment Robert De Niro leaned forward, squinted through the camera, and called Senator John Kennedy one of the dumbest people I've ever seen in politics, the room went silent. And just like that, history had a new viral moment. De Niro wasn't new to controversy. In fact, the legendary actor had built a second life as a fiery political commentator, known for his brash opinions and no-filter attitude. Whether you loved him or loathed him, De Niro never held back. He'd come on the show that evening with fire in his eyes, clearly prepared to unload on the senator from Louisiana. What he wasn't prepared for was what happened next. Senator Kennedy, known for his dry wit and southern charm, sat quietly. For a moment after the insult, not reacting. The host shifted uncomfortably, trying to keep things on track. But it was too late. The audience had smelled blood. Social media exploded. Twitter was already lighting up with clips, hashtags, and early judgment calls. But Kennedy, he simply leaned back in his chair, looked straight at De Niro, and smiled. "You know, Mr. De Niro," he said, voice calm and slow like honey dripping off a spoon. "I'd rather be called dumb by someone who pretends for a living, than be known for pretending to be wise when I'm clearly not." There was a beat of stunned silence, then an eruption of laughter and applause from the audience. Even the host let out a surprised chuckle. De Niro blinked, taken off guard. The actor opened his mouth to respond but found himself short on words, caught in a rare moment of vulnerability. But the story didn't end there. What made this exchange more than just a viral soundbite was what followed in the next few minutes. Instead of descending into a shouting match, Kennedy steered the conversation toward something deeper. "We're not going to solve anything," he said, "by calling each other names on television. People at home are tired. They're worried about the cost of groceries, about their kids' future, about whether this country can still come together when the cameras stop rolling. Let's talk about that." And just like that, the mood shifted. The crowd quieted down. Even De Niro, visibly disarmed, softened. He leaned back in his chair and, for the first time that night, seemed to really listen. It was a rare moment of televised grace, something raw, real, and almost old-fashioned in its dignity. What had started as a personal attack became something larger. A reminder of how easily we forget our shared humanity when we're too busy trying to win the argument. Behind the scenes, people from both political sides were talking. Clips of the moment were shared across ideologies, not just for the burn, but for the message that followed. "This," one tweet read, "is what leadership looks like." Another said, "Kennedy didn't just defend himself, he defended all of us who are sick of the noise." By the next day, news outlets were buzzing. Morning shows replayed the clip. Editorials praised Kennedy's composure and clarity. Even critics of the senator admitted that he had struck a rare balance between toughness and grace. And De Niro, he released a short statement 2 days later, acknowledging that while he stood by his views, he respected the way Kennedy had handled the exchange. In a time when political discourse often feels like a shouting match in a crowded room, the moment stood out as a reminder of what's still possible: real dialogue, grounded in respect, even between those who seem to have nothing in common. The insult may have sparked the fire, but it was the clapback and the calm after that left a lasting impact. Sometimes, the strongest voice in the room isn't the loudest. It's the one that refuses to shout, even when it has every reason to. And that, more than the insult, is what people remembered.